Hello, welcome. It's been a while, but we are back streaming 50 NL 4 tables on Coin, and I fired up 4 tables. I just had an interesting hand with pocket jacks that I will tell you about in a second. Here we have pocket sevens, there's a raise and a 3 bet, so unfortunately this will be a fold in the big blind. Now we got a walk with 5-6 offsuit at the bottom right. Yeah, so pocket jacks, I had them in the small blind. There was a raise from under the gun, so I just flatted jacks. I know it's not ideal, but the problem is that they're kind of only still a bit marginal there, and if someone opens from under the gun, especially because the open was to 3 big blinds. So I called, and then the big blind squeezed to 16. The under the gun player folded, and then I called. So just a moment here, we actually want to play this one. Here, when we're not interested in playing yet another table 4 is enough for streaming. Right, so here at the bottom I opened 9-8. Pocket 6 is from complete under the gun. I'm going to fold. So the reason why I c-bet on King King 9 is because if he has any kind of overcards, I'm happy to bet for protection if he folds. So that's great. Right, so with pocket jacks, then the big blind 3 bet squeezed. I called, the flop came king high, he c-bet, I called, then the turn was an ace, so like horrible board for jacks. And then he bet again on the turn, and I had to fold to that double barrel. But yeah, we are back in the mix. I played a few sessions off stream and they actually all went really, really well. I won like between 2 and 4 buy-ins in every time I played. So that was good, which means that today might be a different kind of a session. Hopefully not, but we'll see if we can continue the streak or if we're going to lose. So far, not much happening. I lost a little bit with my pocket jacks there, but then the table in the bottom right has been really good. And the hand that I really liked that I played earlier was when I had ace jack offsuit in the big blind and the cutoff opened. I called, flop came king jack and a small card and went check check. The turn was inconsequential when check check again, and the river was also a break. And then although I only had second pair, top kicker, I went for the overbet because I thought if he has any sort of showdown value, then he will probably call even an overbet, and he did oblige. No idea what he had, but he folded. Sorry, he mucked, I mean, because he called. He didn't fold. No, he didn't fold. He called. Right, and here we are getting 3 bet when we have ace queen off from the small blind. He makes it very small, only 3.5x. This really is too small. Now, normally I would 4 bet or fold. Here I would consider just calling. However, I am still going to go for the bluff 4 bet. When I say bluff, I probably can't fold out anything better when I have ace queen, but I deny a lot of equity from other hands. And he jams on us, so obviously this is an easy fold now. But yeah, I still think it was fine. Obviously it's like not a fist pump 4 bet there with ace queen off, but against that small size I just didn't really know what to make of it. And this flop is not amazing, but we are still going to put in the c-bet. If we get check raised, which does happen quite a bit, but usually it means that they don't have much. But we get called this time. And at this point, I am gonna go for the overbet. Because I don't think he has much. And yep, we do get the fold. Obviously, if he has something, well, I say obviously if he has something he'll call, but maybe it's not even that obvious, because if he has a weak pair, he might still find a fold. So that's why I do like these overbets on the turn against capped ranges. By the way, Queen Jack offsuit, don't open it from the low jack. That's definitely not a good one to go for. Like, yeah, definitely in the cutoff and hijack. I would open it in the hijack, especially if there are antes in play, like on coin, where there are always antes in play for anything except for the smallest stakes. Okay, my connection is slow. I do not know why, but hopefully it will hold. Okay, Jack 8 off against kind of a min raise. It's still just about a fold. If the raise had come from the button, I would have called, but against the cutoff, I think even for that small size, like I know with the antes, maybe it is break even to call, but I think it's not necessary. Okay, we have ace king in the big blind. And there is a raise from early position. Let's see what develops. I might just call this raise. Yeah, I think I'll just call it because it's kind of it's early. I mean, it could go either way. But under repping this, okay, he goes for a fairly big bet there, but we do have the best no pair, and as I said, we under repped this hand. Now we still have two overs and a gut shot. He is overbetting this one, telling us he's got a really strong hand there. Just thinking whether I can check raise this and then jam. We're not really deep enough, but maybe if I go like this. Because he must think if I check raise when he overbets this turn, this is I'm saying that I have a really strong hand. And I know I've played this one a bit backwards here, because normally with ace king I should raise pre-flop, but it goes through. Yes, we got him. So either he really had nothing, or because I check raised him when he had overbet there, he might have folded even an overpair. Well, I won't complain. It's good for my red line as well. Okay, ace jack on the button. I am definitely going to 3-bet this against a low jack raise. Don't want to call there with ace jack offsuit for sure. And I don't really want to fold either. Okay, we're getting a call. Here in GTO territory, this would be a big bet or check. I often like to play range bet, but I think on this board I am going to go with a bigger bet. And bigger bet means half pot in this case, because it's a 3-bet pot. And he calls. And when he calls there, I mean, he might have a pair, but I am gonna go with a double barrel. And he calls again. And now on this river, I am going to triple barrel it. I do have the ace of hearts. The king is also a good card for me. I might even... Well, would I? Yeah, I probably would if I had ace king. I might even go for another bet there. So definitely triple barreling this one. And he folded. Yes. Excellent. That was a very good card there on the river. Continuing doing well with a red line. Also here we c-bet pocket sevens on the king high board and just took it down. Okay, here we have jack 10 suited against a really early, well, the really early from low jack, and because I just 3-bet, I think this was the table where I just 3-bet, right? Yeah, I am gonna fold this one. This looks very nitty now, but I think if you 3-bet this, it's fine. I mean, it's not minus EV, but I don't think it's plus EV either. It's probably break even. And the fact that I had just 3-bet there, triple barreled, that just made me a little bit more cautious with such a hand. Because we don't have to get involved in every situation. Also, we seem to be getting pretty decent hands anyway. So right now there is a raise from early position. I have pocket 10, so now I'm happy to erase this one. Wait, this is a bit much. Just 7 big blinds is enough. Ooh, we're getting cold 4-bet, which is interesting because this is the guy who 3-bet too small. He 3-bet to 7 big blinds, and now he's 4-betting, and now he's using a big size. But when he bet small, he seemed to have something, but I'm still calling 19 big blinds against a cold 4-bet. I'm just gonna fold it. Also, he does seem to be a recreational player, which could be double-edged. He might be doing this with a strong hand, but he might just overvalue something and like maybe ace-jack or so. But whatever it was, I think he has a lot of equity against me because at the very least he'll have 2 overcards. So I think it is fine to fold pocket 10s there. Yeah, so if you have any questions about the game, about myself, about coin, about poker, or life in general, let me know in the chat. I'm monitoring the chat and I'm happy to answer any questions. So yeah, feel free to share your questions. Right, so we have ace-9 offsuit in the low jack. Well, there is a limp now from early position, but even without the limp, that would not be a hand to open. Neither is 6-9, even though some players really like 69, but certainly not from early position. So let's see. So I'm just monitoring the table at the top left because I wanted to see. But yeah, this guy, so he limp called. So he'll get the tag as an open limper. Ace-5 suited we can raise from under the gun. Especially with this guy in the big blind. Let's see. Yep, he's the only one left, and he calls. And we have this board where against a recreational player I would overbet or check on it. And in this case, I'm just going to check because I do think he will overstab here, which he doesn't do. So I'll just check again, give him another chance, and he bets one big blind. Well, he bets so small, I'm happy to raise this one, as I still have top pair, and he folds. Again, at least it's good for our red line. But yeah, I didn't want to just call one big blind there. And that's the thing, like a lot of players will say, yeah, but what if I then get re-raise after I raise? Well, yeah, we'll deal with that if it happens. It most likely won't happen. This was a passive recreational player who likes to limp, so I do not expect him to bluff. So if he really bets and then re-raises me after I raise, I think he most likely will have at least a 3. Probably not even a good ace. I don't think he would bet raise with an ace. Right, here we opened pocket 8s. We get 3 bet. And this could go either way. You could raise, you can call, you could fold. Title of the show is We're Not Folding, so we're not folding. Now we're getting an awful flop. Not only 2 overcards, but like the king and the queen. So even for this tiny size, I will have to fold. Because the problem is you could double barrel. I can't really... I would be navigating blind here. And with third pair, this is just such a bluff catcher, nothing else. And I'm not prepared to put any more money in there. So sadly, we had to let that one go. But overall, it's going all right. Seven eight suited from under the gun. I do not recommend opening this one. This is one of the things that I keep saying. It's just not the type of hand you really want to open from early position, even though a lot of players really like suited connectors. They do look very pretty, but they're just not as good as you think that they are. I recently did some research, and I'll tell you in a moment. Now I'm going to 3-bet here again, this time with pocket queens. And after this hand, I'm going to tell you why or how the suited connectors are so bad. This guy might actually 4-bet here, but he doesn't. Okay, so the king high board, not ideal, but probably not terrible. So I am going to start with a small bet on this board, basically a range bet. And we get him to fold, which is great. Right, so I saw like hand-to-note data for live poker, that is, but I know it's the same for online as well. And they were looking at what kind of hands players won and lost with. And the only hand class good players who were winners actually lost money with were suited connectors. So they made money with everything else, and they lost money with suited connectors. So if those best players can't make any money with suited connectors, why should we try then? Okay, here King Queen on this board is a check fold. If anyone breathes at this pot, that's a funny word. Breathes. Okay. Well, we have both of those suits on the board. Just not very helpful, right? So still, this just doesn't hit my range at all. It's just no good betting. And no, I'm just gonna give up. But that's okay. Yeah, so as I said, I have been very quiet in the last few months, so I'll have to rebuild the trust here, I guess. Because ace 10 off, seven-handed early position is a fold. Yeah, so the reason why I've not done much was because I've done other things. Well, it's quite obvious. But as you might know, I have another channel called Live Poker Guide, and I've just reached 20,000 subscribers on that one, and I've started the low life stakes accelerator. This was like a hands-on program for 10 weeks, intense lessons and training with a small number of players where I helped them crush the live low stakes, and I had to put in a lot of work into that. So I did not really have much time to play, and then I also had to play a little bit of live poker, which meant that I had even less time to play online. And when I did, then I didn't stream because they were just too short sessions. But now I am back, and hopefully we can make this more of a regular occurrence, even though the holidays are coming up and I'm going away for a bit. What are you guys doing for Christmas? You traveling anywhere nice or just spending time with your families? I am gonna go and spend Christmas with my family, and then after that, hopefully I'm going to a nice place where it's a bit warmer than in London. Haven't booked anything yet. Looking at options and probably deciding by tomorrow. Okay, got a queen in the top right. Of course, raising it. Of course, getting re-raised. And I'm going to put in another 4-bet with this hand. 20 big blind sounds good. So we're hijack, he's cut off. I still think it's fine. But we get called, which is not amazing. On this low board, we're just gonna pretend we have a great hand. So I'm gonna go with a quarter pot. The 10. So I am gonna continue barreling. Continuing the story that I have an overpair, which is not great. Thing is, can I get him to fold for half pot? I don't think I can get him to fold much. So unfortunately I will have to just not fold, just check. And now he's jamming, and against his jam I will obviously fold. It's very unlikely that he had a bluff there. So he might have been trapping even with aces or kings. It's interesting though that he would jam, but I guess probably because I would triple barrel aces and kings. So even with queens, he might jam there. And I'm not saying it's too thin, it's just a lot of players wouldn't do that. But yeah, this hand didn't quite go to plan. Okay, so it's this player who likes to limp. Otherwise, I would have 3-bet, but I'm not going to 3-bet. Question is whether I want to be in a pot against him with this hand. We're not super deep, and it's 3 big blinds, but I am going to call just because it's him. And we have a hand that can hit disguised hands. Of course, only if we get to see a flop. The big blind might take it away from us. But no, and we do not flop very well at all. And he keeps betting, and unfortunately we just don't really have anything. I mean, got some... Okay, I'm still gonna call here once. Now we have a gut shot, and now we have to see what he does. He keeps betting half pot. So I'm actually gonna start bluffing now. I'm gonna go rather small to keep some hands in there, and gonna bet this one quite big. I mean, I don't know if I should do this against the recreational player, but I am still going to overbet this. He might just snap me off with an 8 or so. And he does fold. And there we go. Great red line. Non-showdown winnings. Going up and up and up. That's how it should be. Yeah, so this was a bit ambitious here. And I went a bit out of line with Jack-9 suited there. But yeah, I just thought initially pre-flop, I just want to play pots against him in position. Even and it is a decent hand. It can be quite disguised, but obviously it's not the type of hand that makes money on its own. You have to combine it with your skill edge and positional advantage. But I thought I had both of those. I definitely had position, and I'm pretty sure I also had the skill advantage against someone who normally open limps. And then on the flop, I thought he could have anything, so I was close to folding. I mean, I had nothing there, but he made it small enough, and I still had position in the skill edge, so I called. And then on the turn, he kept going with like a half pot bet, which just didn't seem super strong. And so I raised him there, but I made it quite small because I wanted to keep all his bluffs in and all his showdown value and just everything, because like weaker players tend to merge bet there, like hands that they shouldn't, like second pair. So, and also I had a gut shot, so I thought there is a chance that I might even hit. And when I didn't hit, the only way to win was by betting, of course. And I think by going 1.5x pot, that gives me a pretty good chance. Yes, he might snap me off if he has a king, but there is a chance, especially in online poker, that players will fold a king to such a big bet. And as I said, I think his range is just a lot of stuff, not only kings, might be queens or jacks even. He might still take that line because he's an unstudied player, and unstudied players just do all sorts of things, which is why I thought I want to go for the big bluff, and it worked out. Here I'm opening 7-5 offsuit, not amazing. I'm gonna start with a check. And I mean, I really don't have much, but I am gonna go for the check raise. Again, it's just I do not think that he has a lot there when he bets, because a few ace-x hands would 3-bet pre-flop. 4 is very unlikely. I raised pre-flop, so yep, this is how you maintain the red line. Okay, this is an interesting hand here now, or an interesting setup. I'm gonna raise big. I am on the button. And everyone folds, that's great. I got that extra big blind from the poster. Okay, an ace jack and ace 10, and we're gonna fold 5, 6. Okay, on this board, I'm gonna check for sure. Okay, here with the ace 10 we get called by 2 players, so I'm just gonna check this one. Here I'm going to call with the ace of diamond. Now we have... Oh, wow, he dunks on the top right here, so I'm just gonna... Well... Okay, so this guy... I'm just gonna fold in here. Is there merit in betting? I could go with the overbet, because I have the ace of diamonds. It's a 4 to a straight, so he might fold if he has a 9, a 6, even 2 pair potentially against the overbet. But no, he did call and he has the straight right. So we were actually ahead on flop and turn, but then he had a straight, and straight is just too high up in his range, so that was a bit unlucky there, but it's fine. I think if it tanked so long with a straight, I do think that a pair will almost always fold, and even 2 pair. And yeah, it wasn't the highest straight, to be fair. He could have had a better straight there. So yeah, maybe my bluff wasn't the best, but I still think it was okay. Those 19 big blinds were fine. Seven six suited, small blind is a fold after a cut of raise, or after any raise really. A 6 offsuit, the button is of course an open, A7 offsuit is a fold in the big blind. Okay, that's on the right. That's the kind of flop I would want with my hand on the left. I am going to go for a really small. Well, I wanted to make it really small. Okay, here on the left, going to c-bet with my ace-high flush. Flush draw, not flush. Okay, the jack's not a great turn card. And he now comes out betting. Thing is, I really don't have anything. I don't want to. Or I could. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna just raise. Although he is... Yeah, I didn't really recognize that he's probably a recreational player. And now he donks again, and he donks... It is small, but then again it's not small because it's 9 big blinds. So I'm afraid I just have to give up here. This was not calculated properly by me, and I didn't really pay enough attention to notice that he is a short stack. Okay, so this suited connector I am opening because I'm in the cutoff. So when you're in late position, it's fine to open them because it's likely that you will have position post flop, as we do here. And we are going to start with a range bet. Gonna open ace-3 suited, gonna fold ace-8 offsuit. Okay, so this player, I know that he is quite aggressive. Okay, with the ace high on this board against this player, I am just gonna check back. Oh, we got it through there. Nice. Okay, we have the ace again. I'm just gonna check because it's not great here. Unfortunately, not great either. Here I'm gonna go for value now. I can't go for a lot of value, but I'm still gonna go for it. Here I have to check against 2 players. I get called and we win. Yes. Ooh, this is a nice turn. We lose against King Jack and pocket aces. Okay, I am going to go for a kind of pot-sized bet now. An ace will never fold. Anything better will never fold. Flush draw will never fold. Okay, I'll take this one. So I don't want to go too big, so because it's both paired and a flush there. So if I go, well, should I go small if he has a flush? Well, the problem is I'm just hoping to induce if he has a flush with my small bet here. Yep, we do indeed induce. That is great. And I'd be surprised if he folded after my jam, which is coming. Well, I mean, unless he has pocket eights or pocket aces or pocket tens. Well, I mean, fair enough if he does. He has ace 10. Wow, he did have an amazing hand, but not as good as ours. So happy to do that. So this guy cold call. Oh no, I didn't cold call a 3-bet. He just called a 2-bet, right? It wasn't a 3-bet. Yeah, you got really unlucky there. He flopped two pair and then river the boat, but he had the smaller boat there. But that's why I bet small, because a hand like ace 10 will raise, a hand like flush will raise, any other 10 will possibly raise as well. Okay, we have queens. We are gonna go for a big-ish bet. Okay, ace king raising this one. The three of spades. I'm just gonna check this one. Okay, this is quite good. Now we're only really, well, we are still losing to a 3, and we're losing to a jack. But I'm gonna go with an overbet, because I don't think he will ever fold a jack. Might even look me up with something like pocket 7s, 8s, 9s, 6s. And calling he does, and we win. That's nice. People paying us off when they are meant to. Okay, this guy, I know he is very aggressive with ace jack. However, I can't do that much. Here I'm gonna call for this min raise. I'm still gonna fold this now, although it is annoying. Oops, don't want to fold, just check. The jack is nice, giving us top pair. The ace is not great, and unfortunately this is not the best card, but we still win it, so that's fine. Yeah, so the problem here in the bottom left, where I had the ace jack and this guy was big blind, he 3 bets and 4 bets me a lot. The problem is he is very aggressive. If I 4 bet, could probably have 4 bet there, but even then it's not ideal, and I don't want to call ace jack offsuit in position because I'm still dominated. He might of course still have ace king, ace queen, aces, jacks. So yeah, wasn't ideal. Oh, that's unlucky here on the top left. This guy with pocket tens flopped the set and then still lost it to a straight against jacks. Ace king in the big blind. There's an early position raise. Oh, and losing again. Flopped the 10, but now he flopped it again. Well, at least he was winning one of them. Okay, so this is interesting that this guy, now the aggressive guy, calls there in position, in early position, I mean. This is annoying, but I still have to squeeze. I am wary that this guy just cold calls there in the hijack, but with ace king offsuit, I don't want to play. And then he folded. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so with our kings, ooh, that's a nice board there. And here I am going to go with a overbet now, because if he doesn't have an ace or a flush draw, I'm not gonna get much money out of him anyway. Ooh, he raises us. Right, so we are quite deep now. I think against this type of player I can raise again. Here we're gonna call with our jacks. Okay, well, that's fine. Happy to get it in. Yeah, he had a flush draw, so that's exactly why I wanted to get it all in there. Here, I'm gonna call. I don't know if I'm meant to raise there sometimes on such a board. Okay, he now checks. When he checks there, I am gonna go for some protection. And he folds. That's great. Yeah, so we got this weaker player. That's great. He called with Jack deuce suited pre-flop, and then on the flop, let's just pull up the hand. So on the flop, when he raises me, I know he's kind of ready to go. So I give him the chance. I don't want to just call there. I want to get it in because I figured he either has a flush draw or he has a really good hand there, like pocket fives or a good ace or maybe even ace king. So I totally wanted that. That's why I min clicked him, and then he snap jammed. And then of course I snap called. And now I have a different player here, so I shouldn't get confused. And here I have to fold my jack nine off. King jack off is a fold from the low jack, just about, maybe a call, but prefer not to. Ace deuce off. Let's fold this. So I think now it's actually going pretty well. Don't know exactly how much we're up, but I think more than a buy-in. Yeah, probably 1.5 buy-ins. Okay, queen jack off, king queen off, two hands. That could be interesting. Okay, I'm gonna 3-bet this. And we have king queen again here. Well, yep, he folded, great. Okay, with queen jack we're gonna call here. King queen is a fold. Okay, we flop top pair. Here we are gonna go for a raise. I'm gonna stab with my top pair. And he just folds, that's fine too. We're getting a call for our 6 big blind raise. We flop 2 pair, but it's not an amazing board, this monotone one. But I see bet and he folds. I'm happy with that too. Okay, pocket 8s, unfortunately with a low jack raise and a 3-bet. But even without the 3-bet, I would still fold there. Pocket 4s in the big blind. Pocket 5s on the button. Okay, let's call. Okay, this time now I am going to 3-bet my jack 10 suited. Here, no reason to bet. I can't get called by worse. Yes, I could get 2 overcards to fold, but I think it's fine. Check, and unfortunately we get... I'm not getting quite 3-1, but I have position, jack 10 suited in the 4-bet pot. Really isn't great, but I'm gonna call it because we flop a straight. Well, that's pretty good. Okay, let's start with a quarter pot bet. He might have ace king and just fold, but for the small size, maybe he'll continue. Well, it's tanking in any case. Oh yeah, he did fold, unfortunately. Oh, this would have been so nice. I flop a straight, flop the nuts, and then he just folds. Okay, 6-3 suited. Yeah, against 2.2x call against a short stack. Gonna call it, not expecting to be massively profitable. Okay, snap check back. Interesting, that seems to be some showdown value. Problem is, yeah, I can't get him to fold anything better, and I can just hope that he has nothing. Yeah, that's great, so we win. Ace 2 suited, very marginal open, but I do like my suited hands, suited aces I should say. And we're getting raised straight away by the button, but I will use this hand as a bluff 4-bet. Gonna go to 22.2. And we get the fold this time. That's excellent. We have ace deuce again. Okay, this time completely under the gun. I'm gonna fold it. Ace jack off in the small blind. Gonna 3-bet if the button raises. But he doesn't, so I'm just gonna open raise. Okay, we're getting called. I'm gonna start with a check. I do have a very good hand, but we're out of position, so I want to start with a check. When he checks back, I am gonna go for a bet, and it'll be bet if he allows us to. Okay, not ideal, but I still think I want to go for a value, kind of thin value, but it's blind versus blind. And it's big enough that I think he shouldn't necessarily feel the need to bluff raise me there. Also, I don't really know what bluffs he would have. He checked back the flops. I don't think he has 7-5. I don't think he has hearts. He does raise me though. He does raise me. That is interesting. So does that mean that he did not bet the flop with hearts? But the question is, what kind of bluffs does he have that he called there? I don't think he would do this for value with anything worse, would he? I don't even think he would do it with a straight. So he's basically saying he's got a flush. I don't think a set would even do that. This is an annoying one. We're blind versus blind, but the problem is, what bluffs does he have? Yes, something like a 7, a 5 that he called the turn with. 2-1, getting 2-1. So is that worth it? I think I'll just let it go. That's fine. No sweating there. If someone is capable of raising me on the river after I bet almost pot, then I shall fold. The problem is I don't really see a lot of value raises there, but I don't really see many bluffs either. So it is just confusing. Here on King Jack 6, I'm just going to start with a range check. Ace Jack off, slow Jack, just about an open. Okay, getting worse the flop, or the board rather. Still checking, I mean, got third pair and a gut shot. And now I am gonna c-bet this 9-7-7. I'm just gonna go for check and I win it. Here at the top, just going to check, and at this point, yeah, I still have some showdown value here because I think he could have called with a lot of hands. Plus, I don't think I'd get him to fold. I mean, maybe I get him to fold pocket threes, but I'm not even sure. So it's fine. He could really have had a weaker ace or king high, queen high, jack high, just anything that he just doesn't want to fold for the third pot bet on the flop. Okay, king queen off is a raise, and the hijack jack 10 off is not. No action. Okay, King Jack suited will be an open if we're allowed. Pocket deuces won't be, not in the hijack. Yep, we can raise. Okay, being a bit quiet because there isn't much going on. But hopefully soon. Yeah, this Jack 10 off might be a hand. Okay, my connection is slow again. Sorry about that. Don't know what's going on. Okay, we can call. Not the best flop. Okay, so we can go with the overbet. And we get him to fold. That's great. Yeah, the connection was lost there, I think. King 10 and Ace King. Some promising hands. Okay, definitely going to 3-bet with Ace King versus a button raise. Okay, here we are starting with a C-bet. And we get a fold with our Ace King, which is great. Getting raised, and this is where he really doesn't represent much. He's saying he has a 6 there, which I doubt, so definitely going to call. Okay, this is not ideal. Continuing to barrel, I am gonna call once again. Okay. So now the 6 is basically the nuts. Let's see what he does. I'm tempted to jam this one. But the problem is once he bets 44 into 49, only leaving himself 32 behind, I am handcuffed. There is nothing I can do. I just have to give up and say to him, nice hand. So maybe he did have the 6 after all, or he just had the same idea as me, and this time position worked the wrong way around because he had the opportunity first. Oh no, I accidentally I meant to click fold. I accidentally limped now. Great. Well, at least it'll throw off the regs in the game. They'll think I'm a recreational player. And this guy now raises. Raise is so small that I'm just tempted to. I'm just tempted to go. Oh no, sorry, there was a raise to 12 now. Okay, well, now I have to fold. Okay, but here I am going to. No, not all in, just 12.4. Yeah, I mean, I would have wanted to check raise there after I stupidly, not check raise, limp raise after I stupidly limped. Yeah, that was annoying. Lost one big blind that I shouldn't have, but it's okay. Misclicks happen, and as long as it's only a misclick for one big blind, it almost worked out because I think if I had limp raised there, the guy would have folded. Because when he isolates a 2.5 after I limp there, I mean, it could be that he didn't see the limp, but even then, yeah, like it's just too small a raise. Yeah, this guy who is to my right on these two tables on the right, he is a bit slow. Don't know if he's playing too many tables or otherwise distracted, but he keeps letting us wait. Okay, unfortunately there was a 3-bet there, so I have to fold my ace-5 suited. This is a hand that's nice to cold 4-bet as a bluff, but not against an early position raise and then a cutoff 3-bet. More if cutoff raises button 3-bets, then I'd love to do that. Ace-3 off as a fold against low jack raise. Okay, ace-9 on the button. Ace-9 off. It's not amazing, but I'm still going to 3-bet it. Becoming a bit of a nuisance for the players to my right. I'll probably get punished now and he'll 4-bet. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. Fair enough. I got caught by the cookie drawer. Well, not but by him trying to sneak something out of the cookie drawer. Ace King. Okay, let's try this again. this time it's folding. Ace 10 off. Okay, so here we have an open ender. Starting with a small bet, ace 10 off after a raise, just gonna fold. Getting raised again. This time it's a pretty big re-raise, but since we have a draw to the nuts with 8 outs, I am going to call this one. No help there. He's continuing to barrel to do more. It's okay. I mean, I need to make some money if we hit, so it was probably kind of an ambitious call there on the turn. Interestingly, he is checking now. So I am going to bet. Make it a really big one. Oh no! Ah, I was going to. Well, maybe it would have called and I saved myself some money there. But I ran out of time. I was going to make it 83 big blinds. And accidentally, or I ran out of time and then I checked. And he had 2 pair. So I think he might still have called there, even though I overbet. Well, even though I would have overbet. Okay. So only one table left. So how have we done today? I'm not entirely sure because I forgot what balance I started with. But I think we probably still made at least one buy-in, if not 1.5. And we have another nice hand here, pocket queens. Okay, I'm getting raised again by this aggressive player, and because he is on the verge of a maniac, I'm just going to call here. Don't see a reason to raise my queens. Okay, I am going to bet this one for protection, but also he might check raise me as a bluff. I'm not going to fold anyway against him. He calls. It's interesting. I'll give him another opportunity to bluff the river. So I'm just going to check, and of course there is the ace. Of course, of course, of course. And now he bets pretty big, and this is very, very annoying. But I know this player can have bluffs there. He could, I mean, problem is I do block quite a few things there. There isn't actually a lot. Like King Queen, Oh, and I. Oh, wow. What? Oh no, 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 no! I've lost it. Ah, this is really annoying. Again, this is just so annoying that I ran out of time and I didn't even notice it. I was gonna call, but maybe it's for the best that I folded there, because as I said, like he doesn't have a lot of natural bluffs there. He has a lot of ace-x hands, and so I think maybe again I might have been saved there. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you again very, very soon. Thank you. Bye bye.